Tell you guys a couple stories. There's a police officer in Oregon went to a party trying to show off, and he'd been caught for about 6 months. Somebody asked him, "What would you do if you had a gun?" And takes the gun out, racks it, drops the mag, puts the gun to his head, blows his brains out. There was another guy at home. He had been a cop for a little while too. He's trying to practice fast draw in his living room. His wife walks out of the hallway, shoots her, and kills her. The police chief of one of the Utah police departments was teaching a concealed weapons class and shot himself in the ankle in the process. There was one that you guys might know about. There was a guy that had his son with him, and he was shooting a MAC-10 semi-automatic pistol, and gave it to his son. Shooting this very high-powered weapon, and it shoots at a very rapid rate. Well, his son was shooting it, and he was very young. I believe he was between the ages of 2 and 4. Was shooting it, and the gun came back as it was shooting and shot him in the chin and killed him. All these things could have been prevented if people would have just followed basic gun safety laws. I'm Jason Abney. I'm here to talk about the 4 basic gun safety laws, having weapons inside of the home, and the most touchy subject, children and weapons. Guns inside, the 4 basic gun laws are to make sure that treat every weapon as if it's loaded. Treat every weapon as if it's loaded. This is my Beretta PX4. It's my personal weapon. I keep on me at all times. You know, it's a simple thing. There's no bullets in the clip. And make sure it's loaded. Treat every weapon as if it's loaded. Never point your weapon at anything that you don't intend to shoot. Make sure you know where your muzzle is pointed at. If somebody were to break in your home, make sure that you're pointing that weapon at them. Also, always keep your finger off of the trigger guard unless you are actually going to pull the trigger. There's no reason you should have your finger down in here. It takes half a second to go from here to here and pull the trigger. And the most important thing of all is to know what's behind what you're shooting. You don't want to shoot somebody and then have another catastrophe, because you will be held responsible for that. This is my other weapon that I use. This is my home protection weapon. It's a pistol grip shotgun, Mossberg 500 8-shot. It's not loaded as well. This is for home defense. If somebody were to break in here, they would have a really bad night. The next thing I want to get into is talk about safety, gun safety inside of the home. My personal weapon, I keep it by and this is my personal thing. Some people are different. I keep my personal weapon like so. And I keep I have another clip that has bullets in it, and I keep this on top of my nightstand. I have a 5-month-old son, so he's not old enough to walk and everything, so I don't have to worry about, that children's safety factor. I keep it there, just in case something were to happen. My shotgun, I keep that under my bed under 2 hooks, to where, if something were to happen and I needed to grab that, or I couldn't get to my handgun in time, I don't always keep it there. Sometimes I keep my handgun in its case, and I use this, which is a lock, and I'll put it through here and out. That way, if it's safe, if somebody were to break in here and take it, that they couldn't use it. I also have the serial numbers of my pistols written down. That way, if somebody were to take them, my pistol and my shotgun written down and handy, that I could give to the police. That way, if somebody were to try to pawn it, or if they were caught with it, they would know that this was my weapon and that it was stolen. Also, when every weapon's stored, that still doesn't mean that you do not need to clean them. A lot of people like to do that. They'll collect dust, and if something were to happen and somebody were to break in and you have a useless weapon, it's kind of beyond the point. And the most touchy subject that I wanted to get on is children and weapons inside of the home. And you have people that are on both sides of the fence. On average, about 500 kids a year kill or hurt themselves or somebody else from playing with guns within their own home. that can be prevented from teaching his kids the basic rules of weapon safety in an environment where they should. Some people say store the weapons away, hide them from the kids, don't ever let them touch them. But kids will be kids. They're intrigued to they want to touch dad's gun and play with dad's gun. You know, they see movies, they see that violence. If you were to show a kid the basic rules of a gun, let them shoot the gun, let them touch it, let them get that tangible evidence in their hand to touch that gun and actually shoot it, and let them see what a bullet can do to something. Those are those kids that you mainly don't get those problems from with guns, and that's the side of the fence that I'm on. I feel like, at a certain age, you could take a kid out, show them the basic rules. If you want to take them to a gun safety class, take them to a gun safety class. Both of you can get there's nothing wrong with getting a refresher course on that. Some people just get bad habits and make us gun owners look bad. Take them to a class, let them get that basic safety, and they can shoot, or take them to the gun range and just let them shoot a gun. Most kids, if they see what a bullet does to something, anything, they'll kind of they'll know that it's not like in the movies where you get shot 5 times and you come out a hero and on top. Like I said, I went over the 4 basic gun laws. Always remember, keep your finger off the trigger, treat every weapon as if it's loaded, don't point your muzzle at nothing that doesn't need to be shot at, and remember what you're shooting at and also what's beyond what you're shooting at. Talked about just storing weapons at the home. There's different avenues you could do. You could under coffee tables or whatever, just make sure that it's safe, but it's also readily available just in case you need it. And I also talked about children and guns. It's up to you. Be smart. You know what to do. And thank you.